Hello there, Balaji. Okay, very sorry for the delay. There's a few internet problems. The emails you were sending weren't getting through, but we've found the problem now, so apologies for that. It won't be happening again. Let's have a look. Experts around both developed and developing around both the developed and developing world debate that renovation of old constructions costs a huge amount of money, and instead this money can be wisely used to build new homes and roads. This essay agrees with this viewpoint and discusses how construction of new houses, roads is cheaper, of new houses and roads is cheaper than renovating old buildings, and how it improves the living standards in the country. Okay, on the one hand, there is ample evidence that restoring old buildings is more expensive than constructing new buildings. The central reason behind this is the amount of money incurred on the maintenance of old renovated buildings. Apart from the refurbishment costs, old buildings also need regular maintenance, which largely increases the overall expenditure. Good vocabulary. Be careful though with the verbs. For example, a recent empirical survey conducted by the Times of India proves that most of the state governments release huge funds to renovate historical buildings and maintain them. It also suggests that the same amount can be used to build more new accommodation and roads. Therefore, it is conclusively clear that it is wise to use money on constructing new shelters and roads. Okay, so far to this point, grammatically, it reads well. Okay, and we've got some good vocabulary. A few minor issues with some of the verbs. Okay, largely increases, as I said before. And a bit of work with the articles as well. The main issue I want to pick with you here, Balaji, is that the argument, okay, isn't that strong. Your reasons, okay? Because you say, for example, let me just simplify this. You say a recent study shows that government money spent to renovate on historical buildings and maintains them. Okay, so you're saying here that most of the state government release huge funds. Most of the state governments release huge funds. So you're saying, for example, the study shows that the government spends money on renovating houses. The study also shows that the same amount can be used to build more new accommodation and road. More than what? More than new houses? If you'd have said that the same money could be used to spend, or a recent study showed that spending money on infrastructure improves the GDP by a magnitude of 10, or improves the GDP by 10%, whereas money spent to refurbish building only improves the GDP by 2%. Therefore, it is conclusively clear that it is wise to use money on constructing new shelters and transport due to the increase in GDP. Okay, now that's a stronger argument, but here it's a bit of a weak argument, so just bear that in mind. I know that usually I say the quality of the argument doesn't matter that much, but it does have to be substantial, and here it was just a bit weak. So bear that in mind, please. On the other hand, safe road infrastructure is one of the traits of a developed nation. Therefore, instead of spending money on reconstructing old buildings, the government should spend it on developing new roadways. Moreover, ever-increasing traffic is a burning problem in most of the countries that can be alleviated by building broader roads. To illustrate this, a recent online poll conducted by the news magazine India Today revealed use different surveys. Yeah, this is basically saying the same. Okay, a recent online poll conducted by. Why don't we use to illustrate this? Recent research from Harvard University shows or revealed that the majority of the people were inclined. No. Third, the idea of building new roads and buildings rather than investing money in renovating old buildings. Okay, so once again, this evidence doesn't really back up the issue. You're saying, first of all, that infrastructure is one of the traits of developed nations. Okay, and then you said the people prefer this. So we could make it relevant. Yeah. Thus, it is possible to state beyond doubt that the government should obey their electorate or should obey the wishes of the people. Now we've made it relevant, okay? Should obey the wishes of her people, if you want to be a little bit more stylistic. The government should obey the wishes of her people and focus on building new roads and houses instead of renovating old buildings, instead of old building renovations. Both are okay. So good work there, but just try to make the arguments a little bit stronger, and we can do this by connecting the points. In conclusion, I firmly believe that the money should be spent on developing accommodation and road facilities rather than renovating old heritage buildings. It is predicted that the government will have more savings if they adopt this strategy. There's nothing about savings there, so be careful when we're mentioning final points like that. We could say it is predicted that the government will increase earnings by having greater GDP, and then once the GDP has increased, it could be possible to work on renovating older buildings, something like that. Okay, so good work. Well done for sticking to the structure. Well done for using a lot of the phrases in the courses. That's fantastic. You've got some great vocabulary. You've got some good grammar skills. Let's just work on building the argument. A formal apology and explanation. Okay, that's the question. Let's see. Dear Sir, Madam, I'm writing this to request your forgiveness for my uninformed absence for the university postgraduate entrance exam held last Monday, and I would also want to explain the reason for my absence. Okay. So let's just put it at the beginning. So I'm writing this to request your forgiveness for my uninformed absence for the university program, and we don't need this actually, and to explain the reason for my absence. That's fine. I am Balaji Chavakal, student number, and case number, who applied for the PG entrance exam that the university conducts each year. I have been looking forward for the exam since I completed my online application and I was very well prepared for it. Fortunately, I was struck with illness, where I was diagnosed with dengue fever just a week prior to the exam. My platelets count went so low that I couldn't even stand. Be careful, try to avoid contractions. I could not even stand by myself. I was admitted to the ICU for 10 days, good vocabulary, and next to the observation room for the rest of the week, good vocabulary. Therefore, I did not get a chance to inform you about my absence. I have requested the hospital manager to provide a certificate stating my medical condition that forced me to skip the exam. Well, you didn't really skip it. That forced me to miss the exam. I therefore request you to accept my apologies and allow me to sit the exam with the second batch that is due next week. I hope you consider my request. Yours faithfully. Fantastic. Very good. We got to the point. We offered a solution. We gave an explanation. We gave the data. Excellent. All points in general task 1 covered. Just be careful with the grammar. Excellent work there, Balaji. And as I said before, your next essays will be coming sooner. I've started to put them in. I've signaled that these should be returned much faster now, just to compensate for the lateness. What I want you to do now is implement all the corrections that you've heard, update your error list, write me 2 new essays, check those new essays according to your error list, and then send me your new error list, your corrected essays, and your new essays all together in one email. Okay, Balaji? Have a great day, and my apologies again for the delay. All the best.